which is sweet. By the way, I wanted to mention we haven't even talked about the topic of the new cover of the podcast, but we have a new cover for it. We're gonna make a new cover every week. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, this is one that, I mean, to say the least, makes my blood absolutely boil.
Yeah, you have a lot to say about it. And this topic, I don't know much about it. I know a little bit, but I know you wrote in our notes so fucking much about it. And I was like, "Oh my god, I didn't know there was this much information on this topic." And I was like, "God, Drew is going to give me a lecture on this, and I'm pumped for it because I want to hear the drama."
Dude, okay, so Star Citizen.
Oh yeah.
Where do I begin? Well,
So first of all, a question for you: what's the difference between Star Citizen and Squadron 42? Are these two separate games, or is it studio,
yes.
or what? Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I
same
thought.
studios, two separate games. Star Citizen, the game, is an MMORPG set in space, essentially. The whole gist of
Too
it
bad we
is
don't have any other of those out there.
yeah, Elite Dangerous doesn't exist. That's not real. The whole gist of it is you can literally do anything. It drops you in, doesn't really hold your hand. You can do anything you want. You can be a trader, you can be a mercenary, blah 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 blah. It's kind of like Kenshi, like in the sense that it drops you in and says go nuts. The difference between Kenshi and Star Citizen is Kenshi didn't raise $1 billion in crowdfunding. Yeah, billion with a B. $1 billion is estimated to have crossed. It was over 900 million in October of 25. So it is anticipated that it has crossed or is very close to crossing $1 billion in funding.
Dude, listen, you can put me on a beat, you can put me on in space, you can put me in mountains. If I'm not starting off washed up on a beach, I'm not playing it. That's simple.
Here's my problem with well, and then Squadron 42 is the single player experience set in the Star Citizen universe. Okay. So you're seeing more kind of like alpha and beta gameplay of Squadron 42. Excuse me.
Wait, so hold on. They're trying to make a single player game out of their MMO game?
No.
No, okay. Anyways, I was gonna ask are they making a game, a single player game out of their MMO game?
Yes
Pretty
and
much.
no.
Oh, okay. That's gay. Whatever.
So it's its own separate standalone thing. Same studio's making it. Um, I would say I have two problems necessarily. They're using crowdfunding from Star Citizen to pay for it. Which
did not know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, which I mean they also do have like private investment and other funding going into it, but like the 900 million that they crossed in October was crowdfunding specifically. And they have like a big cast of A-list celebrities and actors in Squadron 42. They got Mark Hamill, they have Henry Cavill, they have
damn, that's a crazy cast lineup. Jesus.
Yeah, Gary Oldman's in it. Like, I have no idea how they pulled this off.
Too.
That's not what I said. So everyone knows Star Citizen has been like in development hell for over a decade now.
God, it's been forever. I keep hearing things about it in the fucking Reddit verse every once in a while, and I'm like, dude, I just stopped caring about it so long ago because it's like they don't have anything solid to put out. I've seen very little.
It's painful to watch.
Oh yeah, I bet.
I'm just looking something. I'm just looking something up real quick. Okay. So this year, Star Citizen, in August, Star Citizen will have been playable for 13 years.
Wait, playable? Really?
Yep. And it is
beta,
still
alpha, I'm guessing?
It is still in alpha.
So alpha testing. Okay, okay.
Yes. So it has raised an estimated $1 billion, or at least very close, still in alpha. And you might wonder, well, how have they raised so much money? Microtransactions and the storefront, baby.
Wait,
So
hold
it's
on. People are paying microtransactions for this game that is in alpha right now.
yep. So
That's wild. I like how you also wrote in here, even if it got out of alpha, went through its beta testing tomorrow, it would still be a pay to win game.
it would be like
That's funny to think about.
here's the thing too. Like the only thing that has gotten consistent updates and like love has been the storefront.
That's fucking
And
sad, dude.
dude, it is because like you might be sitting there asking like, oh well, how have they raised nearly $1 billion like from crowdfunding alone? And then you look at some of the prices of in-game stuff that you can purchase. Specifically, the most expensive pack that you can get is the Legatus 2953 pack. It is $48,000.
Wait, what? I thought you were gonna say $48.
And it does bundle nearly every ship in the game, so you do have access to a lot of the stuff. I don't know if it bundles some of the more recent uh like cruiser class or like fleet cruisers that it has in it that are absolutely massive, but I have no idea. I'd have to look into it more.
Okay,
um
that's crazy. So, like, have you seen that reminds me of that have you seen some of those games where it's like called Banana on Steam, where you just buy, like, essentially NFTs of, bananas in, like or, like, Steam things. You can sell them, trade them, they're more rare, you buy them in packs. I feel like there you just make one of those if you wanna fucking make money. Like, just why go through why bother, like, making an actual game to do all these stupid microtransactions when you can just skip all that, make banana game.
yeah, and like here the next two notes I have kind of play off each other. So you already said the one. If it got it out of alpha and went through beta testing tomorrow, it would still be a pay to win game, which brings us to the next point. They have dug themselves into a hole with these microtransactions in game for funding because there's an expectation from people who have paid thousands of dollars for these ships and in-game items versus what someone who just purchased the base game, like what feels like good player progression without like a monstrous grind.
Yeah.
So let's say you have someone who paid nearly 50 grand to get all these ships. How do you qualify or like quantify the amount of time it would take someone to get some of these
Right. Yeah.
like frigates, like fighters, like how do you break down the amount of time it would take to get money in the game? And also, I would assume that there are more effective ways in the game to make money than others.
Right.
So it's going to push people to a certain play style to be able to get these unlocks, and it just doesn't sit right with me because like it's been nearly 13 years and they still only have an alpha, and the only thing that they've added, I don't want to say the only thing, the massive thing that they've updated, and what do you always see on like the For You page when it comes to Star Citizen? Oh, I'm going through this new ship that they just released, or I'm gonna go do some space combat in these new ships. They have added a lot of systems. They've added a lot of interactions. They've added a lot of like ways to play the game. I'm not gonna say they haven't put in work. They clearly have. The other problem is for most of its development life, when it's been in alpha, it has been unapproachable by the average person.
I was gonna say, there's no way the average person can look at that and be like, "Yeah, this looks like a game for me." And a game where people are spending tens of thousands of dollars, I'll fit in. I'll get all that stuff on free to play, whatever it is.
I remember it was, I believe, probably 5 years ago now. I had a couple friends who they had, at the time, were considered pretty like beefy rigs. They had 2080, 2090 cards with like some pretty gnarly processors. And they had constant performance issues with the game.
Wow, fucking figures, dude.
So like, and it's one of those things where there's, I don't know, I would assume this is what it is. There's what they want to do, and they're trying to do it and waiting for technology to catch up to make it feasible. Because for most of its life, unless you had like thousands and thousands of dollars to spare on an extremely high end PC, you were chugging in that
Hmm.
game.
Yeah.
And now it's to the point where like, you have DLSS, you have FSR from AMD, you have all these like AI frame generation tools that kind of take the load off of your system a little bit. Um, and makes it so that the game is more playable to more people with different hardware. So you don't have to have like, you're not rolling out with like a 5080 and like
Dude,
a
I bet.
$3,000 PC to be able to play this game.
Dude, it's like trying to play fucking Crisis 15 years ago.
Yeah, dude.
But it's like they're like, oh, we see Crisis. I think we can do better than that.
Yeah, we
There's
can one
no
up
way
them.
you're playing this game.
Um,
And then
it brings.
and then Star Citizen is like, by the way, you can buy a rig that can play Star Citizen for $25,000.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, does it come with anything, any other ships or anything? No.
No, just the rig itself. You have to buy the game still, by the way. You buy a
So
$25,000 rig does not come with the game.
no, that's a separate purchase. Like
Right,
batteries
right.
not included. Like, oh,
Yeah,
dude,
right,
come on.
exactly.
Squadron 42 specifically. I remember seeing something for it. Oh, probably 4 years ago now. It was kind of like a trailer slash alpha and like their development process and how far they've come with everything. Um, they said they are expecting a 2026 release. They want to release it during a time that won't compete with other major releases. They specifically cited GTA 6 because, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want to compete with that either. Here's the only
No, of course not.
problem: it's been in development for at least 12 years. At least, I
Oh,
believe
fuck, so
they
long.
announced that they wanted to start it back in 2014, and in 2018 they said that they were planning for beta testing the following year and then a subsequent release. Well, the common theme I keep seeing is next year is always right around the corner.
Dude, for
That's
sure.
like, it's like the person that says, "Oh, I'll get to that tomorrow." Well, tomorrow never comes, type thing. And I don't know how much money or time it would take for them to, yeah, like follow through on these promises almost. It's like I don't know. I get wanting to fine tune everything, but I don't know if like their eyes are bigger than their stomach when
Dude,
it
for
comes to
sure they
something
are.
like this. And the people that get the thing is the people that get jerked around the most are the consumers because people have spent hundreds of millions of dollars on this project, and it's seemingly not any closer to a beta or full release than it was 5 years ago.
Dude, that makes me think like constantly about like, okay, what is going on in the back end development of this game? Like, are they actually like you said there's like some improvements they've seen in adding a few features, stuff like that, and like the store is probably the most overhauled thing so far, but like what are they doing day to day to where it seems like they're just making zero progress? And I don't know how the game actually looks in game if like it actually runs and plays good. Obviously, you need a fucking beefy rig to play it, but if the mechanics and all the stuff is really cool, because it just sounds like they have like a concept and they don't have anything of substance. And I'm like, where is all of this money going to? Or is it going into bigger people's pockets? Is it actually going to development and they just have such a terrible shit code that nothing can be fixed and worked on? Like, what is happening back there?
I
I
think
want to know.
they have so many like they have so many in-game systems between like ships, different vehicles you can interact with. that like the amount of fine tuning that they have to do for their code just has to be an absolute mind fuck.
Right, and that makes me think like, okay, they're trying to be ahead of the curve and make a game that technology is not adept enough to literally make. Like they're trying to make a game that we would see maybe in 2035 and 2026. Or like even earlier. Like they're trying to create something that we don't have the technology to do, it feels like. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, making something with the anticipation of where technology is going to be. And I think it
Right,
might end
right.
up biting them in the ass because uh well, this year, for the first time in 30 years, Nvidia says it's not coming out with a new consumer graphics card
Oh, dude,
for
don't
the
get me
year.
started on like fucking graphics card and hardware. It's so depressing to me, like how much prices are going up, scalpers, fucking chips, it's through the roof. Oh, it's so sad to see. Like I'm getting to the point where I kind of want to redo a lot of stuff in my rig, but it's like, dude, everything's so expensive. Why
Thank you.
bother?
Thank you, AI data centers.
I know. By the way, when you were talking about this, small tangent, I want to bring up a comparison game that I think is a great comparison because I think this is one of the most underrated games nowadays and so slept on just because they had a poor launch and they have recovered so much to where this game is now making roughly 30 to 40 million dollars a year, and so far since launch they've made 340 million dollars. Can you take a guess on what this game might be? Terrible
Cyberpunk.
launch. Close. Also terrible launch. Terrible launch. Now the game is constantly being updated with huge updates that everyone loves. And if you look up the amount of games that people have come out on YouTube and saying, I was completely wrong about this game and it is now amazing, this game would hold the trophy for that amount of games and YouTube videos. Take one more guess.
What year did it come out?
2018, I want to say. Let me double check. I want to say.
Mudslug 3.
Dude, how are you liking Mudslug, by the way?
Such a good game, dude.
2016, but yes, yeah, and you're on what, Mudslug 13?
11.
How much did 11 cost you? How many doubloons did it cost you to buy that game?
Dude, $12.
12 doubloons. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways, the answer was No Man's Sky.
Oh! Yeah!
Dude, awful launch. Awful launch. Like they had 220 players, 220, oh my God, 220,000 players on day one. It was awful after that, but they've kept updating it. If you just look up No Man's Sky on YouTube, the first thing you'll probably see is I was wrong about No Man's Sky. It is now amazing. They are averaging roughly like $40 million a year on sales, and there's no microtransactions. There's literally nothing, free updates all the time, and the updates are huge. They are creating such an incredible world with it. And I'm sure it blew Starfield out of the water. Like,
Yeah.
this is just an example of like, yeah, they had a bad launch and they recovered and they probably could have done better. They had a better launch, but like, you don't have to go spending $900 million to make something that is like unobtainable. You can just make a good game and then add content to it over time, but you have to make things that are like reasonable. And it just seems like to me, Starfield or Star Citizen and Squadron 42 are just unreasonable games that are way out of the means of what anyone can produce. But that's
It's
like a
so
fun comparison.
it's so funny to like look up or read comments about if it'll ever release, and then you see people commenting, I was in my last year in high school when I initially donated when it first got announced, and now I'm married with children and
Dude,
it's no closer to coming out. And then
it's
other people comment
crazy.
like the year is 2070.
Oh my god,
Star
dude.
Citizen has entered beta and
Yeah.
Half-Life
I think I've
Half-Life
seen that.
Half-Life 3 released a decade ago.
We have fucking Battlefield set like 25 out already. Dude, it's so I don't know, like, it's kinda like back to, like, the maybe, like, the sunk cost fallacy of, like, they're like, "We've put so much in it now, we have to keep going." But it's like, dude, you gotta know when to fold. You gotta know when to fold. But then again, they're making money probably still on microtransactions, so, like, why give up if people are still willing to pay for your game? I think if people didn't pay for all those microtransactions that are absurd to begin with, they would have given up a long time ago. But also, they probably were promised a whole lot in terms of a game, and they were buying in early. So I don't really blame them all that much for that. But
Now,
man,
the reason I say that I think the average person's hardware can run it more reliably is because as time has gone on, the amount of money they've raised each year has gone up.
oof,
So
sheesh.
more and more people like are able to play it based on where the technology and like accessible hardware is for people.
Yeah. Oh, god damn, dude. That is crazy.
I could go on.
Dude.
But I know you had something, you sent me something. I think this would be a good like final thing to do for this
Sure.
episode. You sent me a thing that I was really interested by and I think it'd be a lot of fun. It sent me a list